coaches, and in case anybody else is listening, I'm going to open up to you about something. It's a vulnerability of mine. It's deep, it's true, it's an insecurity. It comes from a scarce mindset instead of a mindset of abundance. And this is important so that we can relate to each other and build these wonderful connections that's going to help us ultimately build our Beachbody businesses and create impact and our own personal freedom at the same time. But I'll tell you what, so far to date, right now, it is August 2016. I've been in Success Club consecutively for 80 months, and just recently I started talking about that more than usual. There's a reason for that. Years ago, I want to say 5, 6, 7 years ago, when I was creating a lot of success more initially, I would start talking about it more. I'm like, this is a really great idea. Tell my team how great I'm doing so that I can impress upon them how important it is to listen to what I'm teaching them because it could help them out. And so what happened was I got a few of my coaches, even personally sponsored ones, that would private message me, call me on the phone, and they would start telling me things like, Tom, you got to stop talking about your successes. It's really discouraging me. It makes me feel like crap and all these other things. And I'm like, I was apologetic about it. And so I stopped doing that, unfortunately. And you know, I did it to appease people that were just pretty much downers and responding to success, somebody else's success, in a very negative way. And those people eventually quit anyway. None of those people are actually still here. I'm not just talking about quitting on the action. They canceled their coach account and just entirely ripped themselves off altogether like that. So, and then for years, I still shied away from it. It's like, I want to be really careful how I share my success. But when I was doing it, I was coming from a place of, I've got standing. This is credibility. It shows me as kind of an authority. I might have something I can share with you. Having done it, I'd like to share what I've learned. That's my teacher's heart. So I've been talking about my successes more lately, as well as my problems and things like that. And I've decided, this is really important, that people that are going to be disappointed and just real downers and start thinking about canceling on their own dreams because of somebody else doing well and having the guts to talk about it, not in a braggadocious way, but just, I'm really happy with myself. This is self-love. Self-love is a good thing, if it's not an arrogant self-love, right? If someone's going to be all downer about that and be discouraged about that, I don't know if there's anything that we can do for those people except to be here for whenever they're ready, right? You know, something like that. But at the same time, what I was doing all these years when I stopped talking about my successes more, perhaps I was robbing people, just totally robbing people that would have been uplifted by it, people that would have been inspired by it. That's my tribe. That's my organic tribe. It's people that are going to be inspired when they hear about other people's successes. My tribe are people that are going to be inspired to learn from them. Because if you're jealous of, or if you're hating up on, or if you're judging somebody that's successful, you cannot learn from them, period. So it makes so sense. I'll even go as far as to say it's completely stupid and self-sabotaging and even ego-driven to be just a downer and to feel like, oh, I'm so discouraged. I'm thinking about quitting because somebody else is doing well. So that's part of my story that I'm in the process of getting over. So I'm doing that by sharing my successes more, but in a way totally coming from a teacher's heart, because when I do something that works, I want to teach it. When I do something that doesn't work, likewise, I want to teach what not to do. And that's part of my DNA makeup. I naturally want to do that, and I love doing that. So you're going to hear me talk about, I've made Success Club, and I'm going to talk about what other people are doing. And, once in a while I interview somebody, like I've interviewed one person I can think of off the top of my head. I've interviewed Diana McCagar. I have interviewed Denise Jolly. I've interviewed Lisa Carbonara, people that have created successes in various ways. So it's not just me that I'm talking about, but other people too, because we all have different points of view, and there's more than one way to do this. But it's really important that when you hear somebody's success, that you become inspired by it and you want to learn from them. And likewise, as you create your success, you want to share that with your team as you develop your team, and you want to come from a place of a teacher's heart because you want to inspire them to do what you're doing, creating success and you want that to duplicate. And you don't want to rip off people that would love to hear about your successes and love to learn how you would do it. I feel like in my own ego, I've been ripping people off for years that would love to hear more about my successes because they want to be inspired by it, they want a bar to rise to, and they want to learn from it, right? So in my insecurity and my scarcity way of thinking and all that other stuff, and which drove my decision to back off on sharing my successes, that was all to satisfy my ego. It really was. I'm just being honest with you guys. So we've all got something, right? This is my something right now, but I'm doing well in my process and getting over that. So that's it. So I'm going to end this video on something relevant to what I just did yesterday or the day before. Well, within the last day or two. I did a 10 tips on social media. 10 tips on social media to help you build your business. And right in the beginning of the video, I opened up with, I'm 80 months, consecutive months, Success Club as a Beachbody coach. There's like 4 or 5 other coaches in the entire network that have done that. So that's a very small, really cool club. I think I know a few things that you could possibly learn from that could help you out. And that's the beginning of that video. And then I go into the 10 tips, very powerful tips. And then at the end of that, the coolest part of the video after all those tips that I teach, I go to my Facebook profile page and I go over all these examples and I break them down and I dissect them for you and I show you, and you can see all the interactions that I've got so that you can see it's the real thing. And that, man, that's the coolest way to learn, I think, to actually learn it, followed by, and then you see the real examples. It's so cool. So that's what I did in that video. And I will provide a link to that training video in the description area of this video. So check that out, because after all, I am in a very small club of consecutive months of being in Success Club. And I want to teach you how to do it for yourself and help you do it for your teams as you develop your teams. And if you don't have a team yet, I think you really need this training, because it's going to equip you, give you more of what you need to be able to develop a wonderful, beautiful team. Okay? Tons more social media training on my website at fireyourboss.xyz, not .com, .xyz. And I will give you that link in the description area of this video for the 10 tips on social media that you absolutely must have. Because of what I've created, I can teach you how to do it. All right, take care, everyone. Share this with your teams.